Since 1626, New York's sheriffs have always been leaders. Things have certainly changed a lot since then. But one thing hasn't changed: every sheriff's unwavering dedication and commitment to the safety and well-being of the residents of our communities, counties, state, and nation. For nearly 4 centuries, New York's sheriffs have led the nation in understanding and embracing new technologies to more effectively serve and protect our communities. And since 1934, the New York State Sheriff's Association has helped New York's sheriffs accomplish their goals. For example, the New York State Sheriff's Association recently applied for and received a federal grant to provide every sheriff with the supplies, services, and technologies they need at no cost to local taxpayers to improve their facilities and operations now and in the future. New York's sheriffs and their association are always planning for the future. That's why they're using these grant funds to implement a program that has already become a model for the nation. The main reason sheriffs from across the nation want to replicate what New York's sheriffs are already doing is because they're creating a database of offenders that you and your fellow sheriffs own and control. This system enables you and your staff to positively identify offenders in seconds. In their own words, here are some of the reasons your fellow New York sheriffs hope you will join them in implementing these systems at no cost to your local taxpayers. First, please take a minute to hear from Sheriff Ron Spike from Yates County. With 53 years of experience in the sheriff's office, Sheriff Spike knows a thing or two about what's important to the office of the sheriff.
We are always looking at technology and how technology can improve our services and our public safety mission. One of the things that's important to law enforcement is certainly identification of individuals. Historically, we've used fingerprinting and those comparisons for proper identification. However, looking into the next generation of identification, biometrics is certainly on the forefront. You know, everything has improved so much, and especially with the iris use of identification in all law enforcement that have to do with the proper identification of individuals, especially upon arrest, and those that are inmates that are housed. When you do the intake and you do the booking to get them properly identified, you want to make sure you release from jail when the time comes the right individual, and you want to make sure that when it comes to all the medications that we have to deliver in jail, especially all the psychotropic drugs and everything that are issued, that you're issuing to the right individual as well.
Of course, nothing is more important than accuracy, speed, and reliability when it comes to offender identification.
When we bring someone in to book-in process, the typical process included fingerprinting. And once I learned about the iris system and how it is in fact 12 times more accurate than fingerprinting, that was an eye-opener in itself. And also, there could be issues with people if their fingers aren't readable to be fingerprinted, or someone who is trying to change their identity. They can't change their eyes. And so the iris system was very interesting to me, and has proven itself time and time again to be extremely accurate. And the main part of that is we want to make sure that we're booking in someone who is who they say they are, and also that we don't release someone by accident, which happens every day across this country.
Here's what other sheriffs think about just how accurate the technology is. Remember, it's available for your office at no cost to your taxpayers.
Primary thing was the accuracy of the system. The fact that no two set of eyes are identical. And again, with fingerprints, often we have folks with missing digits or inability to fingerprint, or because of what they do for a living, you can't get good prints off them. Everybody has an iris. And the iris scanning gives us the ability to positively identify every person that's booked in, and gives us the ability to verify they are who they say they are once they are booked in.
This is a great thing not only for our office, but for sheriffs across the state. You know, everything we learned from the academy on was fingerprints were, you know, very exact and extremely identifiable. With the iris system, it just blows it away. There's no comparison between iris and fingerprint identification.
It's also critical for sheriffs to be able to seamlessly and effortlessly share offender data with other sheriffs throughout New York and the nation.
Well, a lot of times people get arrested in local jurisdictions, and including across county lines. So, you know, unfortunately, some people just live a life of crime, and they run afoul of the law, and they end up in jails in different counties. And so, for instance, we would see someone from Saratoga County that's been arrested and incarcerated in Saratoga County, and if they had this system, we would know the COVID status, for instance, and the same for any of the adjoining counties. And it's pretty much a transient population of inmates that traverse the state and in fact the country. And I think our statistics are that we've had inmates from 19 different states that have been arrested and gone through our booking process.
Historically, law enforcement has not been the most communicative field. You know, we don't really share a lot of data, you know, against what the public thinks, or in the past we haven't shared a lot of data. Usually everything was stored in-house. With this system, it allows us to share data with the 57 sheriff's offices across the state. And, you know, I think we're really getting things right now. That information is extremely important because, as we know, the criminal element just doesn't stay in one place. It travels around.
Third, the speed of the technology is also critically important.
The speed of it is just so impressive. I mean, it's a matter of seconds, and you have the results back. And the accuracy is undeniable.
It's not just the speed of positively identifying the offender, which, as the sheriffs have said, takes only seconds. It's also how quick and easy the process is for your deputies to capture the iris biometric. On average, fingerprints take about 11 minutes to capture, and your deputies must physically handle the offender. Capturing the iris takes only a couple of seconds, and your deputy never needs to touch the offender.
Well, I think it's the positive identification. As I stated, it's 12 times more accurate than fingerprinting. I think the fact that it takes seconds to do, limiting the time that our correctional officers have to do the booking process in general. And the third thing would be that they don't have to go hands-on, so to speak, to fingerprint someone, where they could use this the iris scan without touching. And in fact, with the COVID and different things that are going on, that's an important part as well.
Sheriffs across the nation have booked and released more than 2.3 million offenders using the system, and have never released the wrong inmate, not even one. And while that's very important, it's also essential that the right offender gets the correct medication. The MedVerify system that comes with the iris biometric identification technology. Here's what the sheriffs think about ensuring the right offender gets the correct medication and avoiding the potential liability for their sheriff's office.
With the medically assisted treatment that we're required to do by the state now, MedVerify is a huge part of that, because as we know, folks that are in the throes of addiction will do anything to hoard or keep or get medication that is not theirs.
To be able to use the system with the MedVerify for our nursing staff, which does an excellent job, but wants to make sure that inmates are who they say they are and they're getting the proper medications. You know, we're still in the middle of an opioid epidemic in this country, and inmates seek drugs like any other person that has an addiction problem, and they'll go to different links to try to get other inmates drugs, including swapping wristbands or identification cards. So with the iris MedVerify, the nursing staff can make sure that the inmate is getting the proper medication and isn't trying to get it from someone else.
The MedVerify Plus system also includes powerful daily reports on your jail's population and statewide information on COVID-19. Remember, because of the grant the New York State Sheriff's Association received, the technology is available to you at no cost.
So many of us sheriffs are challenged with budget challenges, and having the funds to keep up with technology and to properly address the equipment needs for an agency. What a great opportunity for a sheriff, especially in New York State, on this grant that the Sheriff's Association has been involved in, to receive this type of equipment to move forward with who knows what the next COVID issue is going to be. And the price is right. It doesn't cost anything to get this type of equipment, and thank goodness we've been able to secure these types of grants.
Finally, Sheriff Spike sums up why it's so important for you to join your fellow sheriffs in this effort.
To properly identify individuals through this biometrics is such an important for all sheriffs in the nation to go forward with this technology and basically keep up with the times, and knowing that it is very reliable, it's accurate, and it's non-invasive, it's safe, and it's a great product.
Time is running short. Please join your fellow New York sheriffs in leading the nation by calling Bobby Katita at 518-852-9117 to get started.